Mayor, thank you so very much for giving us this very somber sight on the steps of City Hall. I think we need to take just a moment to be able to relish where we are, what kind of city we live in. With a mayor who has said the doors of City Hall are unchained, unlocked. Every single person can walk to this place, the seat of government, that all of us look as a symbol of freedom and a symbol of respect. Let us give our mayor, but let us give the city we live in, where we are free and we are strong, and the Asian American community is powerful because we hear you, we hear you, we hear you. Give us all a big applause. Your power is heard. Let me acknowledge all of the elected officials and the array of wonderment, of beauty and diversity that you represent. You're elected on school boards and city councils. You are state representatives, State Representative Lalani, State Representative Reynolds, State Representative Wu, State Representative Rosenthal. What a powerful, Representative Morales, hiding from me. County Commissioner Briones, what a leveling and layers. Please take note of this, of what this city, America's city, stands for. Council members who join with the mayor in opening the doors of the city. You've unlocked the keys. You welcomed us all. You should be applauded. Let us applaud Houston City Council members from Abby Kamen to Robinson. I'm not sure who else. They're all representing the city council. Let me ask the question, who will be next? Who will be next? When we begin this litany, where this legislation calls out China, it calls out Iran, North Korea, and Russia. Let me be very clear. I don't think there's one person standing here that adheres to the politics of China, to the oppression of Iran, to the violence in the streets, and the oppression and starvation in North Korea. We'll fight to the death to defend our democracy. There is no commonality with any of us here with a bill like this passed. Can you imagine the debate on the floor of the Senate and ultimately the House for this kind of legislation? Do we understand what happened when the former president used ugly words that I will not repeat here during the COVID? Do you envision, or is your memory lost for the bludgeoning of our friends from the Asian community on the streets of America? Do you know the numbers that died in the midst of this COVID and misinterpretation and misuse and abuse of words? I remember the sadness of that time. And I remember the fight of Grace Ming, my friend, to ensure that we could get a bill dealing with anti-Asian hate. And I love the Congress, believe in American values, but I can tell you it didn't come overnight. So I stand here today with this bill and saying that it is wholly wrong. It's wrong in its entirety. It's wrong in its premise. It's wrong constitutionally, because property cannot be taken without due process. You have a statute and a law that stops you from getting property. Who knows if it grabs your property away? Are you going to be on an isolated tax list to know that these are the people from Iran, North Korea, China, and Russia? Are you going to be isolated in pockets of discrimination? How dare you do that? That's what this suggests. And so I am honored to be here with a city of light that has never shut its door and never turned the light out on the beauty of the diversity of this community. It will be our duty as members of the United States Congress to bring relief if the governor decides to sign this bill wrong-headed in his decision. Sorry that he made a pronouncement that he would sign it. Governor Abbott, I think it is wise that you think once, twice, 3 times about signing this hardly reasonable and unconstitutional bill. Would you want Texas to be on record for being a kind of dastardly state that does not appreciate its diversity? I don't. And then finally, as I've read this bill, and will read it over and over again, as a member of the House Judiciary, I will introduce legislation to nullify this bill, to make it not a bill in the state of Texas, because it will be federally illegal to have a bill that insists that people are denied their due process rights under the Constitution. I know my colleagues will join me, and I insist that Governor Abbott takes back his willingness to sign a bill that is without credibility and denies our richness of who we are as Americans. Representative Wu, thank you so very much. It's emotional, and thank you so very much for allowing us this moment to share our grief for a moment and offer our prayers to Monterey, California, but also to stand with our fight.
Thank you, Councilwoman.